Okay, what's good, everyone? You're listening to WKNC 88.1 FM HD1 Raleigh. We're a student-run nonprofit radio station based out of North Carolina State University. I'm Ewan, aka DJ Off Belay, and this is the alt-rap pipeline Deep Cuts, where we interview some of the up-and-coming talent out of the alt-rap underground. Today, I'm here with Diz. What's good, man? How's it going?
Hello. I'm pretty good.
Yeah, so how about you give yourself a little intro for maybe people that haven't heard you, don't know what your music sounds like, sort of like your story?
Yeah. Um, well, again, my name is Diz. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. Um, I don't really know. Like, I kind of love listening to jazz and like the alternative hip hop stuff. Like Earl and Mike and Lucky and all of those guys. Anything that's like off the beaten path a little bit is really cool to me. Because I'm pretentious, but also because I think it's just really fun music.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of summing up. I feel like your sound is a lot like some rap songs and Mike and stuff like that, especially Ultraviolet with the like super short, almost like I don't know, they're off that album, the tracks are so dense, it's just almost like poetry where there's no fluff. It's all just like
Mm.
1 minute, 2 minutes of just like poetry rap, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I go for. Like, I don't know. I'm not really good at like putting together full like structured songs. I kind of just like let whatever comes out come out um and see where it goes.
So yeah, you said your songs are sort of like short and concise, more out of just like that's just what happens when you make them. It's hard to like, or I mean, yeah, it's just like what happens when you make them. In terms of like releasing projects, is it sort of the same way where you don't really go into it with built out mind? You just make a bunch of songs and then pick the ones that you think are the best, or do you like make the songs with the idea of the album in mind?
No, like I definitely okay, so this is basically what happens. Like I'll make like one or two songs that um like I really like and I'm like really proud of, right? And then I'll be like, "Oh, I don't want to just release these as a single. Let me put it in like an album or something." So I take like those one or two songs and I try to come up with a theme from them. Um and then I come up with the album. I think like the name is the biggest part um of the album and like how that connects to the different songs and what I'm trying to say. Um, yeah. Um,
Yeah, I sort of noticed in Ultraviolet, I mean, you did touch on it that your songs don't really have too much of a structure just because they're so short, but I did notice that Ultraviolet in a whole sort of had like a little narrative and structure to it that sort of gave those songs like a better context.
yeah, I definitely like I put a lot of thought into how I want the songs to flow together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think a lot of times like I may not really specifically be going into an album trying to like tell one specific story, like I don't know, of like what happened to me in one day or some experience that I had or whatever. um but I think like just writing about things that are present for me and are currently happening and stuff like that, um it just ends up being this kind of like, not like 100% narrative driven thing, but still has this type of cohesion um and message behind it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of us just go through like periods in our life that are, I don't know, people say like eras, you know. So when you're
Mhm.
in that time in your life, everything's sort of like, yeah, it's like a season of a show almost, where they don't all go together. You can have like spin-off episodes or like
Right.
flip episodes, but they all sort of have the same vibe and are about the same overall thing.
Yeah.
So when you're
Exactly.
making music, I've noticed a lot of your songs talk about like pretty vulnerable subjects, about like
Mhm.
struggle and like trying to stay positive in like the face of adversity or this like long like road to success. Do you feel that making
Yeah.
music is sort of like therapeutic for you to get through this stuff?
100%. Like I'll like have a bad day or something, and I'll write like my best song ever. And like after that, like I'll completely forget about like all the stupid that happened, and I'll be like, damn, I just wrote a fire ass song, and I'm super stoked on it. Um, yeah, so it definitely really helps, and like I don't know. I think it's just good to like write things down and kind of give yourself a moment to like sit and think with things, and like let it ruminate, and let yourself accept and get over whatever you want to do.
Yeah, like a good part of like the healing process is not to just like immediately rush into acting, but sort of just sitting with it,
Yeah.
understanding how you feel.
Mhm.
Um, so with that, what do you want other people to get out of your art with like, I mean, you said you what you get out of it. Do you want people to get the same sort of message out of it, or is it different when you put stuff out than when you make it?
Um I mean, like, I want people to like connect with me and stuff like that, and to be able to be like, oh, like this person is going through the same things as me and stuff like that. Because I remember like a lot of the times, like when I feel really depressed or like really anxious or something, I'm like, man, I'm probably the only person that's feeling this way right now. It's like, nah, there's so many other people. Um, so yeah, I think that's one thing, and I also want people, specifically like black kids and stuff, to be okay with being vulnerable, um, at least like with themselves, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think it takes a lot to be vulnerable with other people, and that's something that I'm still dealing with. Um, but I just want to be able to like s- spread that idea that like vulnerability is good, and people should definitely be like at least a little bit vulnerable. Like you gotta let people in.
Yeah, I think your songs have a really interesting sound to them where all the message, not all the message, but you definitely are talking about like vices and struggling with dealing with that and anxiety and stuff like that. But you also, it's all not like a sad sort of theme to it. It's more like aspirational and like hopeful. You have a lot
Yeah.
more songs about like getting through adversity or like holding on and seeing better days.
Right. Yeah. Like I think that's like a misconception that a lot of people have for me. It's like, man, you only make sad music. Da da da. Da. And it's like I don't know. I feel like a lot of my music is like it's sad, like the subject matter, but it's also like a little upbeat and uplifting and stuff. 'Cause yeah, like everything comes and goes.
Mm-hmm.
Like like today I could be super anxious about something, and then the next day I'm totally fine, or like everything you eventually get past. And um of course, like those moments where you do feel really bad are important moments and are things that should be like thought about and talked about. Um, but it's also just a moment and just one point in time. And there's going to be lots of other points in time. Some are going to be so much better, and some are going to be the same, and some are going to be a lot worse.
Yeah.
But still, like, lots of different things to experience.
Yeah, and can't really have the high highs if you don't have the low lows. Like if you were to release an album that's all just like the same song, same monotone, it's not going to stand out as much as if you release it in like you said, like an album that has a narrative behind it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, just talking more about Ultraviolet, um, who did you work on with this project in terms of like producers, features, visual art, like the music videos, anything like that?
Yeah. So like the cover art and like the little outfit that I was wearing, um, was by my friend Ethan. He has this really cool brand called EB. Um, should definitely go check it out. He also like makes a lot of my merch and stuff like that. Uh, he's a great guy. And like producers, I worked mainly with like C exclamation point and OJC. I don't know if you know them, but they're fantastic producers, great people. And then also my friend Alfred, um, and that's like mostly like the like core producers that I worked with. There's this one other producer that was on Ultraviolet called named Owen Sagan Page,
Mm-hmm.
um, who's also one of my friends. But that was my first time working with him. He made the beat for What, that intro track.
Yeah, that intro beat's nice.
Yeah, it's a really cool beat. Um, but yeah, those are like that's like my little core, you know.
And you have like a background sort of in like instruments and jazz. Does that
Yeah,
play into like production and stuff with like doing the production side of your music too?
100%. I don't know. I think like um just like listening to a lot of jazz music and stuff, like some of the rhythms that I try to bring into my music is kind of teetering on the line between jazz and hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's pretty cool, and I use a lot of jazz samples and stuff. um and like I'll play saxophone on my songs, and like
Nice.
I'll call up some of my friends to like play some keys and like that. um and yeah, so I think, I don't know, it's something that definitely influences what I do at a pretty good amount.
Yeah, so you said you have sort of like a tight little like group of the producers and stuff that you worked on. Is that sort of just from your philosophy with making music? You want to like keep it with your friends and all of it be like super genuine, or is it just like a matter of circumstance with this album?
um I think it's definitely a little bit of both. Like I'm definitely like a creature of habit, and whatever I'm comfortable with, I kind of just stick to that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like they'll send me beats, and it's like I know what I'm getting myself into. Um, uh, but I also feel like the people that I keep on going back to um, work on production with are people that I think can like add to my sound, and kind of like the ideas that they put into their production are similar to the ideas that I want to write about. um but recently, like, I've been doing a lot more of my own production, um just because I want to like really try to zero in what I want like my sound to be. Like I feel like I
Yeah.
still haven't found like my own sound. Like I think my music is unique, and like it comes from me. It's still my music, but I don't have that like that lane where it's like, oh yeah, that's Diz, like that's what I want.
Yes. Yeah, so would you say you're definitely in like still a period of like self-discovery and growth in terms of your like music?
Oh, 100%. I mean, like, I think I'm always gonna be, hopefully. Like, I don't want my music to sound like one thing forever. 'Cause that's just boring. Um, but yeah, like, definitely right now has been like a huge period of discovery and trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah. So I know you just released, well, not just, but recently released a song with Frank Sativa. Are you
Yeah.
sort of gonna keep that like going with singles, or are you gonna sort of go into album mode again and release something in 2022 before it's over?
I'm kind of gonna do both.
Okay, okay.
I have another album coming out hopefully by the end of the year. Um so I'm just like releasing a couple singles before then. Um just to start the rollout. But it's pretty much all produced by me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's definitely one of my favorite pieces of work so far. Um I'm super excited for people to hear it. Um, yeah. So definitely lots of new stuff coming.
Lots of stuff coming. Yeah, lots of stuff coming. Yeah, I really like that song. I feel like your guys' sound blended really well together. It's always
Yeah.
nice when, like, I feel like in the alt rap scene that I listen to at least, it's always nice when there's two people that I've been listening to independently and then they link together and make a song. And
Yeah.
it, like, is everything I hope for.
I think that's really cool. And I don't know, like the community it's super tight. Like we all kind of know each other and
Yeah.
we all talk to each other and hang out and stuff, which is it's a lot of fun. Uh, yeah. So I think it.
Yeah, I've sort of noticed that I'm definitely on the outside of it because I'm not like making music. But with the few artists I have interacted with,
Mm,
especially in this scene, everyone's way more nice and inviting and focused on like building each other up than I would have anticipated.
100%. Yeah, that's definitely something I've noticed. Like everybody's just like trying to be friends, you know, and like it's not just about music all the time. Um, yeah, which I think is really great. Um, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's, I mean, I think it's definitely a breath of fresh air from like what we see in terms of like popular culture surrounding music. There's a lot more
Mhm.
like antagonism and stuff like that. People just like playing characters and not being genuine. It's very
Yeah.
refreshing from the underground to just be a bunch of, I mean, just a bunch of kids basically just making good music and hanging
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, who are some of your like favorite people in the underground right now?
Oh man.
Not to put you on the spot, yeah.
Okay. I really love Perry Mason.
Oh yeah, Perry Mason interview dropping soon.
Hell yeah, bro. I think he's great. Um and like he works so hard.
Mhm.
Um like it's wild how hard he works and his music is fantastic. Um Cisco Swank, um he's fantastic. My friend just laughed at me cuz uh he was another Berkeley student.
Mm.
Um he's killing. He's he's so good. He's so good. Um yeah, Cisco's awesome. Um man, who else? Uh I just met Overpaid the other day,
Ooh.
and they're really nice.
I think Overpaid's a good example of someone that's really found their sound. Like any song he any song they go on, it's just it's Overpaid just from like
Yeah,
even before it comes on.
definitely. Yeah, Overpaid is doing some cool stuff. Um, Man, there's so many people, and I can't even like name everyone.
Yeah, let me throw you some of the people that I've played on the show and see if you're
Okay,
familiar.
word.
You I mean, Kwame Adu, like Kwamze?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. We got Young Wabo. I mean, you have a song with Young Wabo.
Wabo, love Wabo.
Um, let's see. Yeah, Overpaid. Scuba Diver, Perry
Yeah,
Mason. Yeah, no, everyone is just it just seems like everyone's like you said, just nice and trying to help each other out more.
yeah,
And it's not about the music even, it's just about like making genuine connections.
yeah. I think so too.
Yeah, and I think that that's probably just also a product of most of the music in that space is just well, I mean it's hard to tell from just listening to the music, but it all seems like it's all genuine and honest
Yeah,
music rather than like playing a character.
I think it is super genuine and honest music. Um, yeah. So it's a lot of great people.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about your live performance cuz you're kind of an exception in terms of like the underground scene that we know. I feel like a lot of the people aren't really doing a lot of live performances, but you've got a good couple under your belt already.
Mhm.
Do you have sort of like a pre-show ritual or anything that you've done now? Do you get like into a cycle yet or
Um, Low key. So like before every show, um, I play Babytron. So like before I go on, I play Babytron. I just switched it up at my last show, and I played American Terrorist by RX Nephew. Um,
okay?
I don't know, I kind of really like meme rap and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I do not classify Babytron as meme rap because I think Babytron's music is actually so amazing. Um, but like I think like generally Babytron would kind of fall underneath the genre of meme rap. So yeah, like meme rap definitely gets me going. Um, like I pee before I perform. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. You
Yeah.
know, like you don't want to pee on stage. That's not great. Um, uh, what else do I do? um, maybe like I'll have a beer or something.
Mhm.
Um, man. I like dancing before I perform. Like I always have a lot of energy before I perform because like I'll just get really anxious, or maybe like I'll run around the block or something. You know, something to get my energy out. You know, so
Yeah.
like I'm not as jittery. Yeah, those are a few things that come to mind.
Yeah, how was your last show? Like how did it compare to previous shows? How was it similar? Like what was different?
Um, I think the last show I did on Saturday, with Malik Elijah, I think that was honestly like one of my best performances I've done. Um, I don't know what made it. Well, yeah, I don't really know what made it different. Um, but I don't know. I just felt really good about it. Um,
Yeah, when you're doing live performances, is it sort of the same idea behind releasing music in terms of like what you want people to get out of it? Just like like connecting to the message and understanding like I don't know, just yeah.
um, yeah. I mean, like.
Like is there anything different in your live shows that you're trying to convey than in your normal performances or is it kind of just you're trying to get your message out there still and just get people to listen?
Yeah, I think it's definitely like trying to connect with people and like have people understand what I'm saying and stuff. But it's also just like I want people to have a good time
Mm-hmm.
and like I try to like crack jokes and stuff, make people feel comfortable and interact with people, they feel included in everything. Um like yeah, I guess it's really just like having that really like personal connection, like where it's face to face and like I can see you, you can see me. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think that's super special.
Yeah, there's definitely like even just live recordings of performances can't really capture like what being there in person does for a lot of these
Definitely,
shows.
yeah. Like just the energy at a live show is amazing. And if it's a good live show, man, it feels so good.
Yeah. If I'm not sure if this is like in the plans, but if you ever were to sort of start like headlining shows, do you think you'd have a different take on it than most people, or do you think you'd still just like do you think you'd change up the energy than you have for if you're opening with someone, or
I don't think so. I think
yeah,
I'd
still
pretty much
just keep to the same?
yeah, I think I'd pretty much just do the same thing. I mean, I guess like it would be somewhat different because if I was headlining, like people would be there to see me, so it'd be like obviously different than just like a showcase or
Mm-hmm.
me opening for someone or something like that. Um, but yeah, I think it would mostly be the same. I would look at it as just performing.
Yeah, and I mean mainly you're just sort of performing in Boston where you're at, and then New York.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is that sort of just gonna be the plan for the near future too, or are you gonna maybe try to branch out?
Um.
I mean, I understand it's probably just like you said, creature of habit. It's easier to get shows there with like Annabelle in New York and you here knowing people.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, it's easier just to like be up here. Um, but like I've gone out west and stuff like that. Like I did a show in Oakland.
Oh
Uh,
wow, nice.
but most of my shows are like in the Northeast. Um, and I think that's partially because like I'm broke, so like pretty much like I'm only going if I can get like a $25 bus ticket there.
Mm-hmm.
Um um but yeah, like I would love to be going all over the country. Like that would be cool. I'd be fine with that. I'd be up for it,
No complaints.
No complaints, no complaints. But yeah, like when that opportunity presents itself, um, so be it. And I mean, like also like I'm at school,
Mm-hmm.
so like it's kind of annoying to do like lots of traveling and like going far
Yeah.
because I got to go back to school. Um, but yeah, things will happen. Places will be seen.
Yeah. Um, outside of music, do you sort of have any way that you're creative or anything outside of just music?
Creative, not a ton. I mean, like I paint and stuff sometimes. I like spray painting, and uh, like charcoal and like oil pastels and stuff. I think that's really fun. Um, also skate a little bit, which is fun. I don't know, like if you would count that as like something creative.
I think so.
I think some people would. I don't know. But
I mean, the level that I skate at, definitely not. I don't know where you're at, but
I mean I'm probably not too much above you, to be quite honest.
right, right.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. Music has kind of become my thing, and like some days I'm like, wow, I really don't have a life outside of music. Um, and then some days I think that, and then I'm like, that's okay, because I really like making music, and I think it's a cool thing to do, and yeah, so I just keep doing it.
Yeah, it must be sort of I don't know, it must be weird to be in school and like doing assignments and stuff like that, and then outside of school having this music stuff taking out, sort of like living a double life. Do you feel that
Yeah.
either of them get in the way of each other?
I mean, like my music life definitely gets in the way of my school life. Um, my school life doesn't really get in the way of my music life as much. Cause like most of the things I'm doing for school are to further my music life. Um, so like if I'm practicing saxophone, which is probably like the most time consuming thing that I do when it comes to school, like that's still going towards like my greater music career. Um, so yeah, school doesn't really interfere with it too much. I mean, obviously, like I can't stay in New York for like 2 weeks straight
Mm.
or something like that, which is a little annoying. But um, yeah, other than that, it's pretty calm.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it sounds like you're in school for music related things.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
probably
yeah.
helps.
I go to music school.
Okay, okay.
I go to Berkeley College of Music.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that there was one of those out in Boston.
That's the only Berkeley College of Music.
Okay, okay.
Well, I guess they have one in Spain, but it's like there's not one in LA.
Yeah, I thought.
Oh,
Yeah,
but that's not
yeah.
a music school. Shut up. Um, yeah, music school.
Um, I did want to ask you some things. Sort of been like a little recurring question with the people I've had on, just because I've found you guys all through social media and like Instagram and stuff. How do you
Mhm.
feel that like, especially like TikTok and stuff, influences how you're like making music in terms of like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of songs nowadays are getting shorter and more catchy just because they'll pop
Mhm.
off on TikTok. I don't think that's why you're making short songs, but
No.
just wondering if it's like in your mind or like.
I mean, like, sure, like I'll think about, oh, what part of my song is gonna do best on TikTok, but I'm not really like going into making a song to be like, okay, what is gonna do well on TikTok? Cause like I don't know, like my music still seems to do well without me doing well on TikTok. Um, like I
Yeah,
think I
and I
have.
don't know if it's just because I haven't been following you for a super long time, but it seems especially recently. I mean, you're definitely promoting your stuff on TikTok, but
Yeah.
you're not like taking it like super seriously. Like
No, no, I
you're
don't.
making jokes out of
I
it, and it
don't. I
seems like
don't
you're
make.
kind of.
Yeah, I don't take TikTok seriously. It's kind of just like if I think of making a video and like I have a song to promote, then I'll go on TikTok. But it's not like, oh, like I'm gonna get this to blow up on TikTok, and then like I'm gonna drop it, and then I'm gonna do a remix on it, and all that stuff. It's kind of just like, okay, I'm making music. TikTok is one of many ways that I can promote it. Um, I use TikTok, so like I might as well use it a little bit to promote my music.
Hmm. Yeah, it's always kind of funny seeing like the differences between the content that your manager posts about your music and the stuff that you post about your music. Annabelle's just like top 10 list. These are all the best Diz songs, like analytical, and you're just like, doing the Reddit like meme song.
Yeah. Yeah. We I think we look at TikTok a little differently. She also does that for a job, and I don't. So I think that kind of makes sense. But yeah, it's cool, and it's great to have someone that is like tapped in on social media in that way, like on my team and stuff. And Annabelle's great. She's super nice. Like easily one of the nicest people I've ever met. Like way too nice. It's crazy, but yeah, Annabelle's cool. Shout out Annabelle.
Shout out, shout out. And not to keep talking about Ultraviolet, but just to go back to it, it has been on our WKNC charts for I think like 3 or 4 months in a row. I don't know if you knew that, but we've had you at.
I did not know that. In the top
I think
10?
for the last, because we do two different charts. We'll do the ads and then the top chart. So it's like what songs we've added this week, and then what songs our listeners have liked the most and we've played the most. And you've been in the played the most one for a while, yeah.
Let's go.
Ultraviolet, WKNC,
Ultraviolet.
The triangle loves it.
Yes.
But you sort of said, the title is like the most important part when you're making the project.
Except
what
Ultraviolet.
What sort of ideas did you have behind when you made Ultraviolet? You said except this one?
Yeah, except Ultraviolet.
Well,
I kind
besides
of
the title, then what did you have like a concept or something behind it?
not really.
Just good music.
It was yeah, just like good music and like kind of how like I was feeling at the time, and just like ambivalence towards like, you know, like growing up and having to become a person, and I was about to start school and stuff, and I was dealing with a lot of issues, and that was kind of just my response to it.
Yeah, so it's like life sort of made the concept for you. It's just like a collection of ideas at the time.
Exactly. And I don't know, like I don't know why I ended up calling it Ultraviolet. There's no real reason behind that. I think it was just a cool name, and like
cool name, cool cover.
Yeah, and like I felt like the aesthetic of the album was kind of like purpley, so I was like Ultraviolet, and here we are.
Yeah, I mean, I guess leaving it ambiguous gives more of like more power to the listener.
Apply your own interpretation.
No, you see, Ultraviolet, it's because it's blue, but it's not fully blue, so. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you wanted to bring up? We're sort of nearing the end of my talking points.
I don't think so.
Word. Well, you said you have album coming out maybe sometime this year. Got any like title, anything like that you have for it yet, or that you're trying to put out?
I do have a title, but I'm not releasing the name of the title yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's a secret.
Okay. If you were to talk to someone that hasn't heard any of your music and you want to put them on, what's sort of like 3 to 4 songs that you would say like essential Diz?
I would say Fairweather. This is a deep cut, but Honey Buns.
The first one on your Spotify.
Yes. Rest. and Congo.
Congo. I don't think I've heard that one actually.
It's a great song.
So yeah, for people that haven't heard you, where can they find your music? Where can they find your socials?
My Instagram is diz.47, and my Spotify is diz, and my Twitter is diz the delinquent, and my TikTok is also diz the delinquent, and you can go follow those.
Perfect. Yeah, Ultraviolet out now, on Spotify, on streaming services everywhere, I assume. If you like Diz or anything similar, play all sorts of stuff in that lane on the alt-rap pipeline weekly, Mondays at 5 on 88.1. So yeah, tune into that. Once again, thank you, Diz.